I am 94 years old, and I have exactly 3 friends left. 3 out of dozens, and I am not sad about it. I am relieved because the ones I let go of were not friends. They were habits I mistook for love. And if you are over 60 and you feel exhausted by the people around you, if you dread certain phone calls, if you leave certain lunches feeling worse than when you arrived, this is for you. I spent most of my life believing that loyalty meant forever, that a real friend is someone you keep no matter what. I had a friend named Diane. We met when we were 23, shared everything. Babies, heartbreak, recipes, secrets. But somewhere around my 60s, I started noticing that every time I hung up the phone with Diane, I felt smaller, emptier, like I'd been hollowed out. It took me years to understand what was happening, and it cost me peace I'll never get back. So I am going to tell you the 5 types of friends you must release after 60. Not because they're bad people, but because your time is sacred now, and not everyone has earned a seat at your table. Number 1, the friend who only calls when they need something. You know this person, you've known them for decades. They call when they need a ride. They call when they need to vent. They call when they need to vent. They call when they need money or a favor or just someone to absorb their crisis. But when you call them, silence. When you are in the hospital, silence. When your husband dies, a text message maybe. I had a friend like this for 31 years. 31 years of me showing up, and her showing up only when it was convenient. I kept telling myself that is just who she was, that I shouldn't expect more. But here is the truth I wish someone had told me at 60. If the giving only flows one direction, it is not a friendship. It is a service, and you are not a service. You are a person who deserves to be asked how you are doing and actually listened to. Number 2, the friend who turns everything into a competition. You mention your granddaughter got into college. They mention their granddaughter got a full scholarship. You say you are feeling better after your surgery. They tell you about their friend who recovered faster. It is never celebration. It is always measurement. And after 60, you don't have the energy to keep running a race you never entered. I had a friend, Margaret, who could never just be happy for me. When I told her my daughter was getting married, the first words out of her mouth were about her daughter's bigger wedding, every single time. And here is what nobody tells you. That kind of friend doesn't want you to fail. They just can't stand watching you succeed. There is a difference, but it hurts the same. Let them go. Your joy is not a trophy for someone else to measure themselves against. You deserve friends who clap for you without counting, whether your applause was louder than theirs. But this next one might sting a little, because this friend often looks like love. Number 3, the friend who refuses to let you change. You decide to stop drinking. They say you are no fun anymore. You start painting or writing or going to church. They roll their eyes. You set a boundary with your adult children. They tell you you are being selfish. This friend loved who you were at 40, and they want you to stay there because your growth makes them uncomfortable. It reminds them of all the things they haven't done. I changed in my 60s. I stopped being the quiet one. I started saying no. I started asking for what I needed. And the friends who couldn't handle that, they disappeared. Or worse, they punished me for it. If someone only loves the version of you that stays small, that is not friendship. That is control wearing a familiar face. Stay with me. This one is important. Number 4. The friend who is always in crisis. Every phone call is an emergency. Every visit is a monologue about their problems, their health, their children, their landlord, their ex-husband. It never ends, and it never gets better because they don't want solutions. They want an audience. I am not saying don't help people. I am saying notice when someone's pain has become their identity, and they need you to witness it more than they need to heal from it. I spent 7 years as someone's emotional ambulance. 7 years. And when I finally said I couldn't do it anymore, she told everyone I was heartless. But here is what I've learned. You cannot pour from a cup that someone else keeps emptying. And after 60, your cup doesn't refill the way it used to. Protect your peace, even if it means being called the villain by someone who only ever cast you as the rescuer. Some people don't want you to be well. They want you to be available. And once you understand the difference, you can never unsee it. And here is what nobody tells you. This last one is the hardest to walk away from because this friend has been in your life the longest. Number 5, the friend who makes you feel small, not with cruelty, with small cuts. A comment about your weight disguised as concern. A joke about your memory in front of others. A way of talking over you that says your words don't quite matter. I had a friend for 40 years who did this. 40 years, and I kept going back because I thought that is what loyalty looked like. I thought enduring someone was the same as loving them. It wasn't, it was just fear dressed up as faithfulness. I was afraid that without her, I'd have no one. And that fear kept me sitting across from someone who made me feel invisible for 4 decades. If you leave a friend's company and you feel like you need to apologize for existing, that is your answer. That is all you need to know. I used to rehearse conversations in my head before seeing her, planning what to say, what not to say, how to shrink myself just enough to keep the peace. That is not friendship. That is survival. Now I want to tell you something, because I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking that letting go makes you a bad person, that loyalty means forever, that walking away is selfish. I thought that too for decades, and it nearly cost me everything. My health, my sleep, my relationship with my own daughter, because I was so busy being everyone else's friend that I forgot to be her mother. Letting go is not abandonment. It is honesty. It is finally saying, this hurts me, and I deserve better, even at this age, especially at this age, because after 60, every year is a gift. And you don't give gifts to people who throw them on the floor. I wasted my 60s trying to save friendships that didn't want saving. I wasted my 70s grieving people who were still alive but had never truly been present. Don't make my mistakes. I am not telling you to become cold. I am not telling you to close your heart. I am telling you to finally open it to yourself, to the people who actually show up, who actually listen, who actually care whether you are okay. Those are your real friends, and you probably already know who they are. They're the ones who never made you feel like you were too much or not enough. I am 94. I've buried friends. I've lost friends, and I've released friends. and the releasing was the hardest. But it gave me something I didn't expect. It gave me room to breathe, room to rest, room to finally hear my own voice after years of being drowned out by other people's noise. So if you are sitting there right now thinking of someone who takes and never gives back, someone who competes with your joy or punishes your growth, someone whose voice in your head makes you feel less than you are, you have my permission to let them go, not with anger, not with a fight, just quietly, gently. The way you'd close a book you've already finished. You've given enough. You've waited long enough. You've been patient long enough. Now it is your turn to choose yourself, to protect what is left, to spend your remaining years surrounded by people who make you feel like coming home. That is not selfish. That is wisdom. And it took me 94 years to earn it. If this reached you today, leave a comment. Tell me which friend you are thinking of. You don't have to use their name, I'll know, because I've been exactly where you are. And I promise you, on the other side of letting go, there is a peace you haven't felt in years. Take care of yourself, sweetheart. You've earned that much.